Algerians today, like the rest of West's populations, are the result of a blend of different ethnic groups who passed through this land during various eras in varying proportions, depending on factors like climate conditions, meaning the ease of access to different regions, and the ability of each ethnic group to adapt to those climates. This, of course, was before the advancement of technology, transportation, and medicine. To understand this, we invite you to travel back in time through those stages. The first to pass through Algeria were Homo habilis, derived from ability, meaning the skillful man, capable of making stone tools. Their presence dates between 2.6 million and 1.6 million years ago. They were specifically discovered in Ain Ahnesh area near modern Constantine and Sétif, and in large numbers in the Atlas region and Tassili. However, recent discoveries in Ain Bushrit region in Sétif indicate the rapid spread of those tools via the Horn of Africa, or perhaps that they developed simultaneously at the same pace in several African regions. Later, Homo habilis evolved into Homo erectus mauritanicus, the upright Mauritanian human, who lived in Algeria from about 1.6 million to 1.2 million years ago. Homo erectus is considered the first human to discover and use fire, and scientifically the first human to cross beyond Africa. Specifically, the Algerian Homo erectus mauritanicus was named after the site of Teranif near present-day Mascara. Culturally, due to limited archaeological finds, their culture was grouped under the Acheulean industry, meaning they used Acheulean tools. Based on similarities, a theory suggests they migrated to Spain during the Ice Age, when crossing the Strait of Gibraltar was possible. Then came Homo sapiens, modern humans, the closest to our current form, existing from about 250,000 to 50,000 before current era. Under Homo sapiens came several lineages and cultures, some widely accepted, others disputed. Here, new civilizations and lineages began evolving outside of Africa, and migration became entirely dependent on geography. Meaning, every time a genetic change occurred due to biological adaptation, that gene spreads to regions where its survival chances were higher, and new lineages formed there. Among these was the Mousterian culture, spanning from 110,000 to 60,000 before current era, closely related to the Saharan Acheulean, coming from the southeast, centered in the inland regions. Later, combined with various groups, it formed the Aterian culture, a development agreed to have happened rapidly, locally, and entirely independent from its European counterpart, the Neanderthal. The Aterian culture lasted from 60,000 to 20,000 before current era. It is considered the core of North Africa's distinct cultural identity, especially in the Atlas region and northwest Sahara, with slight similarities to the European Cromanian culture, possibly due to the minimal movement across the Strait of Gibraltar. The Ibero-Mauritian culture lasted from 30,000 to 8,000 before current era. Its name comes from Ibero, the Iberian Peninsula, and Origine, from the Mauritanian human. It developed and was centered in northern coastal and Tel regions, unlike the Mousterian, which came from the east and settled inland. Genetically, they are known as Meshta Afalu men, whose toolkits indicate significant cultural advancement. They primarily lived in caves, and their tools evolved continuously without interruption, leading to emergence of the Capsian culture in North Tunisia and eastern Algeria. The Capsian culture and ethnicity was discovered in Gafsa in modern-day Tunisia and lasted from about 8,500 to 5,400 BCE. While its influence and formation remain debated, it is considered an extension of the Ibero-Mauritian culture. Genetic traces of Ibero-Mauritian people still exist in modern Tunisians, albeit at low level. Their lifestyle was nomadic and developed independently from Europe and the East, heavily influenced by the Central Sahara, paving the way for the Neolithic period. The Gaetulians appeared around 1400 BCE until about 250 CE as an extension of the Capsian culture. Though rarely mentioned in historical sources, they were undoubtedly horsemen, warriors, and nomads, living by hunting and originating from the south. They occupied vast semi-desert and southern regions. However, drought pushed them north to the Tel. Thus, they became a mix of dark-skinned and fair-skinned races, and were very numerous. The infamous historian Strabo even considered them to be the majority in the region. Then came the Sea People between 1200 and 744 BCE, believed to have arrived after the Trojan War. They were known as enemies of the Egyptians, as they were seafaring tribes with diverse ethnic origins, migrating from western Turkey, the Balkans, and Palestine. They mixed with Gaetulians, forming the Libyan or Libu-Maghreb people, characterized by braids, tattoos, and sometimes a feather on the head. They were a threat to the Egyptians, who described them as numerous and diverse. Under Ramses II, fair-skinned Libyans were called Tenhu, and dark-skinned ones were called Tehanu. While no ancient sources use the term amazigh, some believe it derives from the Tenhu or the Tehanu, or even from the tribe of Meshuash, mentioned by Herodotus. Written as Meshuash, Mazias, or Mazisus, Ibn Khaldun considered the origin of the word linked to Mazir, son of Canaan, as cited by Jean Penagos. Their language was closest to the Tifinagh used by today's Tuaregs, with grammatically similarities to ancient Egyptian and Phoenicians. After losing several battles, most notably the Battle of the Delta, some joined Ramses III's army and integrated into it. Then came Sheshonq or Shishak, born to a Meshwash father and a Libyan mother, who founded Egypt's 22nd dynasty around 950 BCE. Some philosophers, like Roll, Van der Wee, claimed Sheshonq, mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, was actually Ramses, called Siso in some Egyptian texts, since the Egyptian S was pronounced Sh in Semitic languages. The Garamencian civilization, with its capital Garama in modern-day Libya, lasted from 500 BCE to 600 CE, bordered by the Gaetulians to the north and Ethiopians to the south. Founded by a tribe descended from the leader Togarma, they are considered ancestors or relatives of the Tuaregs. Herodotus described them as a great nation and the strongest Libyan tribe at the time. They lived on agriculture, horse breeding, and trade, dominating gold, ivory, salt, and even slave trade, and using horse chariots. Their decline was due to harsh desert conditions and Phoenician dominance in trade, while Ibn Khaldun noted that they split into small principalities after Roman oppression, where Romans threw them to lions in arenas. In the next episode, we'll cover the Phoenicians and how they transformed from skilled traders into an empire with political ambitions, including the rise of the Numidian state and Roman presence. Until then, stay safe and may we remain unified. To make sure not to miss any of our next episodes, please subscribe, like, and leave your opinion in the comment section.